to make a traditional apple crumble, you need cooking apples, and you need to peel your apples first. And traditional apple crumble uses cooking apples and cooks them first, just lightly. You can do this without cooking them at all first, but I like to cook them a little bit just to make sure that they are soft inside the crumble at the end. If you cook them a little bit first, it also means that you don't have to leave your crumble in the oven for as long. So bridge hold through your fingers, cut your apple in half and then cut side down so that it can't roll around. Bridge hold, cut into quarters. You need to get the core out of your apple, and I do it with the knife like that. However, if you are not confident doing it that way with the knife, and I'm just going to have to do this slightly at an angle, you can put your apple down and cut diagonally to get the core out. So if you just cut diagonally from the bottom, and I can't do it left-handed to show you, but I'm just going above the core, cutting diagonally down, and I've lost the core from there. These then need to be sliced, so again, bridge hold through your fingers and slice down onto your chopping board, and put your apple straight into your saucepan. Because these are cooking apples, they do tend to go brown quite quickly, so you will need to work quickly to get your slices done. I've just done one at the moment. I'll do the second apple in a minute, but in with your apple you need to add just 2 tablespoons of water. As you start to cook the apples, a lot of juice will come out, so 2 tablespoons of water will be plenty. And I'm just going to put my second apple into the saucepan with the first. Okay, so into my peeled and sliced cooking apples, I'm just putting 2 tablespoons of water, which does not seem like a lot of water at all, but as I said, a lot of water will come out of the apples as they cook. And you can use different liquid if you like. I know my mum used to use 2 tablespoons. She'd put a little bit of orange juice in with apples if she was cooking them for a pie or a special occasion. We need to get some heat underneath these, and it won't take long for just 2 tablespoons of water to come up to the boil. So you need this on a gentle heat so that the cooking apples can release some of their juice and you don't brown and burn your apples. Okay. It's difficult to see just 2 tablespoons of water in the bottom of a saucepan. But as soon as you can hear that they're starting to cook, there we go, I can hear some sizzling. I'm going to turn the heat right down to a gentle heat, and I'm just going to cook these for 5 to 10 minutes and wait until the apples have started to soften. I don't want to cook this so much that they have gone to mush. And if I had a saucepan lid that fitted this saucepan, I'd put a saucepan lid on it, but at home I don't have a saucepan lid which is big enough or small enough for this pan. So I'm just going to leave these cooking on a gentle heat while I start the crumble topping. Okay, the apples are cooked enough, you can see. Some of them have softened and some of them are still whole, and I quite like an apple crumble where all of the apple is not completely mush. I've got 25 grams of granulated sugar could be caster sugar, and I'm just going to put most of it in, not all of it, because I don't like my apples to be too sweet. And you can see as that dissolves, it helps to make, again, a little bit more juice there, thins down some of the apple. And I'm just going to try a bit of the apple that's soft, and that is plenty sweet enough for me. So I'm going to put my apples into the base of the dish I'm going to make the crumble in. So that's my cooked apple ready to have the crumble topping added in a moment. Okay, to make your crumble topping, you need 100 grams of flour and 50 grams of butter to start off with, and this is made by the rubbing in method. So just break your butter or margarine into smallish lumps, just break it up a little bit, and then just toss that over in the flour so that each piece of butter is coated in flour. And then to rub in, you need to use your hand like a little scoop, and you rub your thumbs over your fingertips. So pick up a little bit of fat, butter with some flour, and rub your thumbs over your fingertips only. And the reason that you use just your thumbs over your fingertips, if you feel your hands, if you use the back of your hand, which is more sensitive, and put it on the palm of your hand and then on your fingertips, you should be able to feel that the palm of your hands is hotter than your fingertips. I'm just going to use both hands for a minute. So we just want to use your fingertips, which is the coolest part of your hand, to rub the fat into the flour so that it doesn't get too hot and sticky, because what you don't want to happen is for this to stick together into one lump. Now I can see that I've rubbed this fat in, and I'm doing it in exactly the same place. So what you can do is use your fingers like scoops and make sure you scoop right to the bottom of the bowl, but also turn your bowl round. So after you've rubbed a couple of times and let the mixture fall back, turn your bowl around every so often to make sure that you're not just working in the same place, and you're not just rubbing the fat into the flour in the same place and there are going to be pockets of white flour with no butter added into them. If you're not sure if you've rubbed your fat into your flour enough, the easiest way to tell is to shake your bowl. And if you shake the bowl, what happens is all the small bits of flour will fall to the bottom and any large lumps will rise up to the top. So you can see, and I can see this is starting now. If I keep going, this is going to stick together. So this is what we would describe as looking like breadcrumbs. And I don't really want to rub it anymore because that is done. So I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, the last ingredient to go in here is 25 grams of caster sugar. And that just needs to be stirred in, and the crumble is then finished. You can then put your crumble on top of your fruit mixture, and you can either pour this on or use your hands. But what's important is that you don't flatten this mixture. It's crumble, and it's not just that the topping itself should be a crumbly topping. It's not meant to be completely flat. So this is slightly too much crumble for the size of this dish, so I'm just going to use my hands to spread it evenly, but I am not going to flatten it down. Not going to use the spoon and make it completely smooth, but my crumble is there ready to go into the oven, and it will go into an oven on gas mark 4, 160 degrees fan for about 25 minutes. So that needs to just be popped onto a baking tray and into the oven. Okay, the apple crumble is cooked. It's got a few cracks in the top where the crumble is cooked, and it's a light golden brown. So that is your traditional apple crumble.